Welcome everybody to NR Truck Night in America live here from Maui International Raceway for race 9 out of 28 on the Gainbridge Truck Series season, folks. This race marks the halfway point in the regular season. Only 9 more races to go, folks, until we see the regular season finale at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then we head into the playoffs in the throwback race at Darlington Speedway. And folks, it is just heating up here, literally and figuratively. It is about 91 degrees here on the track today. So it's very hot. One of the hottest race weekends we've seen so far. It was about 97 in practice on Wednesday. So this is going to be a very hot race, but figuratively talking, the field's going to be much closer this week after the changes we've seen in the past 2 weeks. It's going to be much closer. The racing's going to be more, I guess you could say, reckless between these guys. A lot of guys need to get their days going, and it's gonna be very interesting to see how this race at Maui plays out. A little bit of a one-lane track, I guess you could say. That outside isn't very strong, so it'll be very interesting to see how these drivers tackle this circuit. You can already see already on the track now. Here with this camera, you can see there's kind of that one line of grip going through these corners, but it is a very big track, so this is the first time we have gone overseas for an NR Truck Night America race. So I'm very excited. You can see a sold-out crowd here at Maui International Raceway. All these Hawaiian fans excited for this race. And then next week we travel to Tokyo, I think it is, or we just traveled to Japan in general for Fuji Speedway, which we are red coursing. It will kick off our in-season tournament, sponsored by Hard Rock Bet. $1 million on the line for those drivers. But like I said, 91 degrees here this afternoon for this race. Um, the pit window should be around lap 30 to 40, I would say. Um, don't have a real estimate. It's kind of based off how much fuel the drivers have. The drivers will almost never pit based off tires, so it's always going to be about fuel. So I'm very intrigued to see how that will go. But this is going to be a very interesting race. Um, it feels to be much tighter. Uh, no previous winner, of course, but Ronnie Hauger is on pole. He already got a win at IRP. That 83 team as a whole has already 2 wins on the season, but right on their outside is Avery Alfred, who got his second win on the season last week. So Alfred's heating up, but Hauger now trying to stop that momentum after a very chaotic race we saw last weekend, and maybe start off with some fireworks here on our overseas trip here as we're here in Hawaii. But folks, with no further ado, let's head on down trackside here at Maui International Speedway. Go over all the things we know heading into this afternoon's race here, as we only have 9 more races left in the regular season. And I welcome you guys trackside here at Maui International Raceway here for race 9 out of 28, folks. But like said before, Ronnie Hauger on pole this afternoon here at Maui International Raceway. During practice, he did top the board as well. So this 83 definitely has a lot of pace. His first qualifying lap wasn't that fast, but he rebounded on his second lap and got the pole just over Avery Alfred. And this was a very close qualifying compared to the last couple of weeks. So this is going to be a very intriguing race. Almost the whole top uh 22 all were within each other. So this is definitely gonna be close, especially in qualifying. Avery Alfred is only about like 0.02 tenths over his teammate Angel Gutierrez. Then we had Ricky LaFleur, Aaron Abel, Matthew Hubert behind them. So it was very interesting qualifying for sure. And I think we're gonna have a lot of fast trucks here this afternoon. But with it only being really a one-lane track, it's gonna be a little bit difficult for those guys on the outside line to get something going. And they might look to dip down early, but there's gonna be plenty of opportunities with these long straightaways to get passes off. But as we get into our point standings coming into this race, of course, Angel Gutierrez still leads the points here for Racing Motorsports, but Avery Alfred continues to chunk down on that points lead. He has taken away points every week. Now only down to 17 points behind our points leader of Gutierrez, but he has slowly gained points every week. At one point, it was very close. He was very far away, but he's taken that advantage that Gutierrez has had from all the way from like I want to say 20 points down to now just being not 20. It has to be higher than 20. Something. It was pretty high. It was pretty high difference. Gutierrez has been very good, but he's taken that points lead all the way down. And now he is just right behind his teammate. And these guys are looking very fast for Racing Motorsports, and they only seem to get better every week. Of course, with the changes, they are going to be a little bit slower, but the hierarchy should still be the same. But after the three Racing Motorsports trucks who occupy the top three, and mind you, there is a 42-point gap from Abel to Gutierrez, so Gutierrez is already kind of locked into the playoffs. But then we have Caleb Rose and Matty Hubert. Caleb Rose has maintained this position most of the season, along with Caleb Rose and Matty Hubert. Caleb Rose and Ricky LaFleur. Ricky LaFleur and Caleb Rose have kind of maintained their positions so far. Ricky LaFleur has had some sneaky good performances once again, qualifying fourth here today, and Rose in sixth. They're both looking to have great days. Rose in eighth actually, but they're both looking to have great days here at Maui, and I'm pretty confident in this 27 and 82. They definitely have shown the most pace out of this top five, top, I guess, well, top five, six-ish, but Matthew Huber, we know he's very good at these very long tracks, so he's yet to get that first win so far this season, but this definitely is a great opportunity for him to get that done. Um, Rose as well has shown some pace, but he's kind of fallen off a little bit, but he still has had some solid finishes. Finished fourth at Rockingham, so he for sure has something going on. He's got some momentum coming into this one. And then as we look at our rest of our top 16 here, you have guys like Carson Miller looks solid, Matthew Burnett, uh, Alexander Rowe got that win at Auto Club, still searching for his second one. I think he does have pace to bring it to these Racing Motorsports trucks, but unfortunately did not have a great qualifying. He's going to be starting near the back here today, so he's going to have to drive his way forward. But if there's any race to do it, this is definitely a track that he has an opportunity to. It's 67 laps, I think. So, yeah, it is 67 laps. But so there's definitely going to be a longer race than usual, so he definitely will have an opportunity to capitalize on that. And then we look further. We have Chris Martins here, Patrick Nolan, and then rounding out uh, chase standing, your top 12 who would make the chase currently is Patrick Raven, but right there is James Daniel in 13th. Daniel lost 5 spots from last week, so he did not have a very good performance at Rockingham, and he definitely wants to turn it up because he's looked very solid so far for Lego McLaren this season, but he is just sitting on the outside. David Spears, Kid, and Arcadia did not qualify too well coming into this race as well. Those two definitely need to figure something out. Arcadia has looked very solid, very consistent, but has kind of gotten mid finishes as of late. But that so far has kept him up here, as nobody's really been super consistent outside of the top 10. And then as we look at your final one in this top 16, this is going to be the 83 of Ronnie Hauger. The 4-point advantage over Ryan Osborne right behind him. But Ronnie Hauger, like I said, already has a race win on the season at IRP. This Red Bull Fallout team is very, very fast. They're going to be somebody to look out for. And this season's just really tight so far. There are so many deserving names to make the chase, but only 12 will make it. So this will be very interesting to see how the rest of this regular season plays out with only 9 more to go. And then we finally have that death corner in the back half of the season where everything can go wrong at tracks like New Smyrna, Indianapolis, which we saw last season, Watkins Glen, all very chaotic races that made the chase race very tight going into that one. And we'll see how it goes this week here at Maui. Of course, a new track for everyone. But that is your point standings coming into this race, folks. We get into your drivers to look out for. There's a lot of key drivers that look very, very solid for this race. But of course, the first driver to look out for, of course, has to be this 83 of Ronnie Hauger. I mean, like I said, topped the board in practice, and then won the pole in qualifying. I think he was fast. I don't think he was fastest in Happy Hour a few hours ago, but this 83 team definitely has a lot of speed, and I think they're the first driver to look out for. Is they definitely want to get this chip on their shoulder and get that second win on the season for Hauger, third as a team. Then my second driver to look out for is going to be that number 27 of Matthew. But like I said, he's very good at these big type of ovals, and this is once again another opportunity for him to assert that dominance. We know him as a guy who, when you come to these big tracks that give you opportunities, he's going to be there in the end. This track has a lot of draft involved in it as well, so he's going to be somebody to watch out for in this race. And then for our third driver to look out for, it's going to be this number 38 of Joseph Wood. Joseph Wood has had a good, solid string of performances these past couple weeks. Haynes Racing as a whole, but this 38 has very much stood out to me, and I think he has a pretty solid momentum coming into this one. I think he could maybe be a surprise winner. Finally get Chevy on the board for wins. Everybody but Chevy has won so far this season. Chevy hasn't had a top 10 finisher since David Dixon, who drove from 40th to 90th, 9th. My bad, not 90th. 40th to 9th. In IRP, which is the race he won last year. So Chevy's got to get something going, and I think Joseph Wood could be the guy to do it. And then my final driver to look out for is going to be the number 99 of Rogel Dorn. He got that win at Atlanta earlier this season. Dominant performance. This track really does remind me of Atlanta, just a little bit wider of a front stretch. And but corner-wise, I think this track suits the 99 of Dorn very well. And his teammates are very fast around him. And I think this 99 will have a lot of pace coming into this afternoon as well. So, folks, with no further ado, wow. So, folks, with no further ado, let's get these trucks fired off and rolling. Don't know why I said the same thing twice there, but let's get these trucks fired off and rolling here at Maui International Raceway, and then we will go over your starting lineup for today's race. And as they roll off here, you can see your starting top 10 here at Maui International Raceway. Row 1 will be the 83 of Ronnie Hauger and the 42 of Avery Alford. Row 2 will be the 43 of Gutierrez and the 82 of Ricky LaFleur. Row 3 will be Aaron Abel and Matthew Hubert, the top 2 from the Florida 500. Row 4 will be Carson Miller and the 98 of Caleb Rose. And rounding out your top 10 will be the rookies. Well, one is a rookie, the 38 of Joseph Wood and the rookie Kyler Sustre. So, folks, you can see the rest of your starting lineup on the left side of your screen here. But, folks, we are finally here for our first overseas race. And in our Truck Night America, of course, we went to Mexico City last season for the Mexico City road course, or Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, I think the name was. But that was a pretty decent race, but that wasn't really overseas. But we are actually overseas, still a U.S. state, but you actually had to travel overseas. A lot of jet lag for these drivers in a very hot weekend, so this could prove to be a very tough race for some of these drivers who are feeling it. But we head to Japan next week for Mount Fuji, so if there's any better time to get used to all this, it is this race. But to be Ronnie Hauger leading us to green in front of all these fans for the first time in Gainbridge Truck Series history here overseas, alongside the multi-race winner Avery Alford. But with no further ado, the green flag is underway here at Maui International Raceway. And as they make their way through here at Maui International Raceway, three wide already, as Kyler Sustre has already made his way down to the inside line here. But Matthew Hubert right on the back of his team at the 23 of Carson Miller, while Aaron Abel looking to make a pass on that 43 Gutierrez as well. Tanner Calvert is on the road with some issues for Red Racing. Calvert, the most active driver for Red Racing, but so far it has not been a season of good luck for that number 5 team. But now Gutierrez is going to fend off his teammate for second. But now this 83 of Hauger is going to have 3 tough Racing Motorsports Toyotas right behind him now. And now the 23 Carson Miller is going to file in right behind him. But now Matthew Hubert looking to make a move on that number 82 of Ricky LaFleur for 5th here. Or it's actually going to be 6th, actually. But it doesn't look like he's going to quite get the move off here just yet. So he's going to file back in line, but there's plenty of passing opportunities on the straightaway here as Gutierrez trying to get a look at that 83 of Hauger. But this, like I said, is kind of a one-line track in these corners, as there's only one really line of grip. And now here comes that 43 Gutierrez looking to the inside for the lead. There goes Gutierrez now. And Gutierrez is going to move into the lead, as Hauger now is going to have to move down to second here, unless that 42 of Avery Alford gets a run going into the turn. No, not quite the run, as here comes Carson Miller. Miller, does he give the 42 a bumper? He's going to make it 3 wide here. Contact, banging doors here on the front stretch between this 23 and 42. And now Miller going to give him the door again. 3 wide here for what it seems to be 3rd. And now to be the 82 of LaFleur and the 42 of Alfred making contact, with these two on the inside lane trying to move through underneath these Racing Motorsports trucks. But now that outside line maybe getting a little bit of a run here, as that 42 Alfred is working back to the outside. And Alfred does work back to the outside now, so he's got a lot of speed under that truck. And now Ronnie Hauger going to be in a little bit of a sandwich here between these Racing Motorsports trucks, as now he has to somehow try to catch up to this 23 of Angel Gutierrez, who got the lead early on in this one. 67 laps here in this one, but now Hauger going to have a run, but like I was going to say, it is a long one, so you don't want to use up your stuff too quickly. But now Ronnie Hauger going to be right on the back of this 43 of Gutierrez. That run's going to fall off in the middle of the corner, though. Now sort of settling down a little bit. You can see the Haynes Racing teammates battling in the back, 38 and 36. Wood gonna come in line here while Rocco Dorn right on the back of this 84 of Patrick Nolan. There goes Rocco Dorn now looking to make his way into the top 10. And he's gonna do it quite easily here, moving right to the inside of this number 84 of Patrick Nolan as he's gonna make his way through. As here comes Haynes to follow right through. Back up ahead now, Aaron Abel looking to the inside of this number 83 of Ronnie Hauger, but here comes Ricky LaFleur as well, going to the inside over Alfred. He catches Alfred napping, so does Carson Miller. And now Carson Miller potentially working that inside line. No, not quite here. That 83 of Hauger will fend off that 41 though, and now he's going to get another solid run though, but now these guys are all going to shuffle this 42 of Avery Alfred to the back. Excuse me there, folks, but now the 99 of Rocco Dorn back to the inside of this 17 of Kyler Sustre. And now, does he get a move off? He is going to get a look here, so there goes that number 99 of Rocco Dorn. Already 3 seconds or so between these guys here as they are getting, as this lead pack is getting some time away. As that 84 has a huge checkup. Still up front here. They are still battling all pretty hard, but now LaFleur moves into third. And now, does he give a shot to his teammate? But right now, Angel Gutierrez, your points leader, is looking for his second win on the season. Still leading this one as there goes Ricky LaFleur to the inside, possibly here, of his teammate. No, not quite anything going for him here, as 32 and 92 did not get rolling either. So Caden Arcadia having issues along with Nick Mahold. So those shots did not get fired off in rolling, I don't think, which is very odd as it looked like everybody got rolling off just fine. So that is an unfortunate blow for that Trident Racing Engineering team, as they have had some good luck, but now not even going to be, not even going to get a lap done in this one, as they had some mechanical issues, it seems. And yeah, the engine did not fire off on that 92 and 32, so that's unfortunate. Did not catch it in the start. I really thought everybody started this one, so that is an unfortunate blow for them. But now, this 82 Ricky LaFleur now trying to track down this 43 of Angel Gutierrez, as now Ronnie Hauger's going to fall all the way back here to fourth. And now Ricky LaFleur, Ronnie Hauger going to get a look here from this 42 of Avery Alfred possibly. And not quite just yet. Caleb Rose still lingering behind here. Rocco Dorn trying to make up some ground, but these guys have kind of fallen out of the loop here just a little bit. But still a lot of tight racing behind here in the, I guess, 10th to 15th range. But now back up front here, battling for second. Abel with a slingshot move to the inside of that 82 of LaFleur. He's now moved to second. And now he's going to try to fend him off here, and he will. And now he's going to try to chase down his teammate, that 43 of Gutierrez, who so far, amidst all this chaos, has led the most laps so far here today, as he is taking advantage of all the battling behind him. And now Ronnie Hauger to the inside of Carson Miller here, possibly. You can see the gap that has grown from this lead pack. 98 rows here, about to enter turns 3, while these guys are just coming out of turns 2. So definitely a huge gap growing here. And we'll see how that plays out throughout the rest of this race. We'll see when the pit stops happen. But we are still in the 15 laps into a 67 lap race, which means the pit stops might occur around lap number 30. But now they are all closing up on the back end of this 43 Gutierrez, so that gap has came down by a lot. And now there goes Aaron Abel looking to get a move possibly there for a second. No, not quite on that number 43, but nothing comes out of it. And there goes Miller to the inside of this 82 once again. Does he have the momentum? And yes, he will. I think he finally has some momentum here to the inside. He's going to have some help as there goes the 41 looking for the lead. So there goes Abel now to the inside. Side by side for the lead is the Racing Motorsport teammates. But they slot their way through. I mean, I can't believe 3 trucks didn't start this race. That is crazy. That is forever. Now I keep getting these two mixed up. Now LaFleur trying to look to the inside of this 41 of Aaron Abel, but not quite anything coming out of it, as that outside line might actually have some speed here. Oh wow, a huge jump there. I don't know if some guys lost their inside there, but that caused a huge little exchange there. And our first lap traffic could be this number 11 of Monica Pato here, stuck behind this number 71 of Sergio Vittorias. These guys back here are duking it out. David Spears trying to get something going. Todd Gordon Castlenut, nothing quite going for him. William Ayers, Peter Onjak, Peter Rowe kind of on an island of his own now, back here in 20th. As we get back to this lead pack, now that 41 of Abel might finally have a shot here, looking for the lead to the inside. Will Gutierrez use that run on the outside though? Sorry, I'm still getting over that cold I had a few weeks ago. I don't know what's going on with my allergies as of late. But now LaFleur trying to experiment possibly here with the outside. And now he's going to use that to get momentum here to possibly look to the inside of Abel here for a second. There goes LaFleur. He slingshots to the inside. He'll say, "I'll take my way right through, kind sir," as he takes his way into second here. So LaFleur in the second. Could he be looking for first here as well? That 82 silver Red Bull machine. And now Aaron Abel going to fire back to the inside though. Does he get the move off though? Abel working to the inside, or LaFleur get the run? 3 wide behind there though for 5th. For a second, it looked like it was 3 wide between these guys as LaFleur's going to fend them off. But now, back up front here, still it's going to be Angel Gutierrez as everybody's duking it out behind. And this could be a key where pit stops really play a strategy and play a point into how this race goes, because that, I don't know, right now that 43 looks like you can't really pass him on the track. Does anybody make a bold move and try to get him on pit road? So I'd say we are about 10 laps out of our pit window here, but we'll see when everybody comes in here. I think it'd be the 43 first, and everybody would piggyback off of that. But you don't really know, as everybody behind here is really tight racing. I don't know. I feel like in this caution cycle, we might see a wreck here, as these guys are just duking it out here. As they've duked it out so much that the 7 in a row is starting to catch up. But now, these guys look like they're going to start to catch up here to this number 43. As I have a pop-up, sorry, folks. But, they're going to catch up to this 11 of Monica Pato. And while I was off pause here, I think that the 41 got past this 82 here. So LaFleur drops down to third, but now he's going to try to get a move back on this number 41 of Aaron Abel. But right now, these guys are starting to settle down here late in this run, as now Brandon Haynes trying to carve his way into ninth here, right behind this 99 of Rocco Dorn. But here we go, coming up on our first lap traffic of the evening here. It's going to be 71 of Sergio Vittoria and 11 of Monica Pato. Vittoria qualified quite well, I would say, for an open truck, but unfortunately it doesn't look like he's going to figure too well in this one. Yeah, he started 26, so he definitely has just dropped behind and has not had the pace. But they will come up on this 11 of Pato for another week, as they just have not had any luck. And we'll see if this lap traffic plays a role into how this pit cycle could potentially go. But there's some guys keeping up. Notably Caleb Rose and the 27 Matthew Hubert have not been up here too far, but they have definitely made a bunch of moves. But now they come up on this lap traffic, and this is where it could get tricky here. As now there goes Abel, not going to waste any time here, but now they're going to be stuck behind both of them here. And does he try to make it 3 wide? But no, there goes Abel, going to make his way through, and he's going to get followed by LaFleur. It's going to be 3 wide. Gutierrez is going to get messed over by the lap traffic, and here comes Abel falling through, but the 11 of Monica Pato, they're going to fall completely off. There's now Alfred's going to get stuck behind them. And Alfred's going to quickly make his way through, but Gutierrez not having any luck now. And back up here now, here comes the 41, 82, and 83, closing up on the 01 of Lexi Herman. So quite a bunch of lap traffic here. And this little stretch right ahead of pit stops, and it's actually going to be the 27 and 82. Wise move. You come up on the lap traffic. Let's not waste any time bringing our trucks down the pit road. So that's going to leave the 41 of Aaron Abel out there, and this is where we could potentially see the lid get screwed off this race, as we have pit stops underway. But here comes Halger trying to make a move, but that 01 of Herman going to block him off a little bit here, and now Abel going to move into the lead. Now that 83 is stuck behind this 01. But now that 41 is going to take his way down the pit road. So is 42, 98. Will these guys bring it in behind? Stray is going to stay out. So that'll be interesting for his race. Does anybody stay out with them though? So lots of service on pit road currently. Everybody coming down. As Ayers contact with the 80 of Ryan Osborne. It looks like the 9 of Dixon's going to stay out another lap. We know he is bold with his strategies. And pit on lap 30. That's going to make a little bit of a tough run to the end. But here comes Sustre finally coming down. But I think it's going to be this 82 LaFleur with the lead. He's going to have that 27 and 23 right behind him, chasing. But here comes the 9 of Dixon now. So we'll see how everything shuffles out. But I have to assume it'll be that 82. Yeah, here comes 82 coming around. Oh, and they're going to be neck and neck. So the 41 just comes behind this 23, 27, and 82. Here comes 83 running Halger, 43 Gutierrez. Alfred looks like he's going to be unlucky here. That's 7 in a row. He might shuffle out here. He might have just gained a lot of spots through that pit cycle, potentially. But now they pass Sustre here, who's just now coming off pit road, so he will be passed here, and the race will be the 82 of Ricky LaFleur. But he's going to have some company from Matthew Hubert, who trails right behind him. And like I said, Hubert is a guy to watch out for at these big tracks. He is known for always being there in the end. But now, can he close up on this number 82 of LaFleur? But he does have his teammate of Carson Miller right behind him as well. So throughout this pit cycle, Rowe gained a bunch of spots through the pit cycle, that's for sure. He's all the way up to 11. Brandon Haynes up to 9th. He's going to be trailing this 42 of Avery Alford, actually, which he is not too, well, he is about 6 seconds off him, so that will be intriguing to see. But it is going to be the rest of the trucks coming off here. But now here comes LaFleur. Where are they going to work around this 45 and a 57? Both team owners, actually. Team owner Red Racing and a Silly Thing Racing. But now they are going to both wisely move to the inside. But it looks like it could be a battle here between Matthew Hubert and this number 82 of LaFleur. Both sitting 4th and 5th in the standings currently. And Miller, I'm not sure if, yeah, he is going to know. Tries to get a look behind his teammate. Not quite anything there. But this is really tight, really kind of uncomfortable here. And there goes 82 finally to the inside of this 57. So they will follow their way through. And Abel still keeping up pretty well. But I don't know, man. I think they lost too much time due to lap traffic, and it was an excellent call by that 82 and 27 team. But some of these guys are going to be hoping for a late race caution that would shake everything up in this one. And we saw that happen last week too. But Spears is going to get the move on here. So he's trying to make a move on. But Gutierrez is going to work around him anyways. But Alfred behind here. And here comes Rowe right to the inside of Brandon Haynes like a slingshot. Patrick Nolan as well in the 4. So these two are owner and driver, as they both are going to spring their way into the top 10 here potentially. So Haynes going to try to work back to the outside, and we'll see if he gets the move off. And he will. So now Haynes is going to have the Spears Raven trucks trailing behind him, but I think he could be fine at this point. But back here, you see LaFleur and Hubert both stuck in lap traffic. Stuck behind that 30 to 52 Emily York Watson, that Beyblade machine for PPP national team. And now Abel going to be looking to get a move off on the 57 of Walsh, so Abel could definitely see himself in this battle for the lead here pretty soon, but that 57's getting him quite some issues. Then we have Halger and the 43 back here too that led the first half of these races, but now are a little bit behind here. But now Rowe and this 84 trying to work around this number 01 of Lexi Herman here, and this might allow that number 36 of Haynes to follow right through and take that spot right back for 10th from this 84 of Nolan. But no, not quite. Nolan going to finally get the move off. That's going to force Haynes to possibly dip down to the inside as Alfred makes his way through. So I don't know if we'll quite see the jumble of battle we saw before, but if there is a late race caution, definitely is going to be a tight one to the finish. They're going to be making their way up on 23rd here of David Dixon. So now Hubert going to close right back up on the back of this 82 of LaFleur. Hubert might look to make it 3 wide and look for the lead. Yes, he does. There goes Hubert to the inside for the lead. We mentioned how good he is at these tracks. A little bit of side drafting here between these two, and these two are going to be battling for the lead now. Uses the 9, former Season 1 Chase member of David Dixon as a pick, and now that 27 Hubert trying to move to the inside, but that 82 LaFleur is going to work back on the outside. No look now, but Carson Miller and Aaron Abel as well closing in on these guys. Now here we're going to settle back down. Gutierrez as well as the 83, they definitely could catch up as well, but they are stuck behind that 57 of Walsh currently. And 96 of Caleb Burrs at that too. And now that 41 of Aaron Abel has a long train of trucks ahead of him. And Hubert trying to find any lane possible. He might look to make a dive bomb here for the lead. Does he have a look? No, not quite, but I think he could be setting it up for next lap here. Knowing how experienced he is, a veteran in the series, we know he definitely knows how to make a slingshot move work, and he could potentially do it here soon. So we'll see what type of run he gets here, coming out of turns 3 and 4, heading on to the front stretch, and if it'll allow him to catch up here to these guys. Not going to quite be able to set it up this time though, but that 23 Miller is here. So is Aaron Abel. So these guys now starting to claw their way, but I still think they'll need a caution if they want to catch up to these top three, Meanwhile, Miller is going to be closing in on Matthew Hubert while LaFleur is starting to drive away a little bit from Hubert. Yeah, gained about 0.30 there on that lap. So now, I guess you could say 3/10 there on that lap. But then going to come up on the Season 1 champion of Peter Onjak and 37 of Matthias Bento. Luckily for Onjak, doesn't look like he's going to have mechanical issues this week after a string of bad luck for him and his Onj Auto team. I believe he is currently running 21st, so not at all a bad performance for that 03 team. Yes, he is. So that is not bad. Much more improved. Hubert's going to give him a little bit of shot here. So he gets the move on. He might take the lead as well. Hubert now side by side looking for the lead. Maybe using his former rival of Peter Onjak there in the Season 1 chase as a pick there to get the lead. But here comes Carson Miller as well. Miller, who ran for Nice Motorsports last season, almost won his first race in his first career start at Watkins Glen. But now LaFleur moves back to the outside. LaFleur says, I'll take that right back, and he's going to zigzag right through the 37 as well. If this 27 can't get past Onjak, he might be in some trouble here. As now, there goes the 27, finally going to get a look on that inside of this 03 of Onjak, and he's going to have this number 23 of Miller right trailing behind him. Does he try the zigzag move that LaFleur does? I think that's going to be a little too hard, but he's definitely going to want to get the move on. He might be pushing this 37 into turn 1 at this point. I mean, Hubert's known for, he will push you out the way if he needs to. We saw it at Talladega last season where he won that race. He certainly was the aggressor in that one. But now, that 23 of Miller going to possibly use his teammate here to get past this 37 and his teammate. But now these two are going to be side by side. This is going to allow this 82 Ricky LaFleur to coast on away if they cannot get past this 37. I mean, they are entering this top, I guess you could say 12 here, I mean top 20 here, so it's definitely not going to be trucks where you can just zoom on by, but right now, they are having to get past this 37, and one does the patience thin, and does he just boot him out the way? It doesn't look like it's going to thin here, so he's going to finally get a chance to the inside of that 37 of Matthias Bento, as he'll make his way through, and now they have to get the chase back on to this 82 of Ricky LaFleur. But amidst all this battling is this 41 of Aaron Abel, who has slowly climbed his way back in here. And so is this 83 of Ronnie Halger and this 43 Gutierrez. So with all this battling, these guys have tried to claw their way back in closer and closer to this top 3. It will take a lot, but they certainly do have a chance. As now Rhodes will get his way into the top 10, along with Alfred's, and then the 7 and 84. So Haynes quite had quite a big fall off. I think he still is sitting in 11th here, but certainly not up to the pace that he'd want. I mean, all the way up to 9th might actually get a lap here, I think, possibly. These guys are all stuck behind here, so I don't think they're going to have too much luck. But now Hubert, once again, closing back in on this 82 of LaFleur potentially here. Going to have to set his marks with just under 20 to go in this race. LaFleur, like we said, Nobody could really pass that 43 Gutierrez. And then we finally got to the lap traffic. That 41 made a move for the lead. But as soon as they saw this lap traffic come in, that 82, 27, and the rest of them all dipped down the pit road. They said, we do not want to have any part of the smart move, because that lap traffic held up some guys on their end laps. And it definitely paid off for this 82 team, as now they are in the lead. But they are still being trailed by these two Vision Motorsports Rams. But here comes Aaron Abel as well, entering this party. Meanwhile, these guys back here are trying to make their way through. Gutierrez might finally get the move off. But here comes Alfred, here comes Hauger, here comes Rose. Gutierrez gets in a little bit of a zigzag. We saw that 82 of LaFleur do. So we're seeing that move work out quite a bit. Almost thought I saw the caution lights on for a second. But these guys are going to all finally scurry their way through. I think it's too late, though, to get a real run on these guys up here. Now there goes Miller to the inside of his teammate. So with all this battling, they're losing a bunch of time. Yeah, they were losing a ton of time to this 82 of LaFleur. And now he's going to come up on this 81 and 38. Just what one of my drivers look out for. Sitting in 18th currently. Fortunately not having quite the day he wanted. But does he hold up this 82 and allow this 27 to have Matthew Huber to get back in this fight? Here comes Aaron Abel potentially looking to make a move on this 41. On this 41, on this 23. But now that 38, does that 82 make a move to the inside? No, he will, so no trouble there. But now they're going to come up on Martin and the 01 of Herman. The 01 of Herman's going to be looking to go for their second lap down on this one. And if this 82 gets stuck in this sandwich here, that 27, this 41, this 23 could all make their way through. But here comes Gutierrez and all of them as well. But I don't think these guys quite have enough time left in this one, unless we see a late race caution, as we officially have 10 more to go. And but LaFleur makes his way through all this lap traffic here, so he has no trouble. He's going to have his sights set on whoever else is next, which is there's a bunch of these guys these guys are going to be tough to get by, because these guys are all sitting here for 17th, 16th, and all that. So once again, it's kind of been a trend where we see guys fall off really hard, and then the pit stops come as soon as that fall off happens. And it really spreads this field out quite a lot. But now Abel and this 27 all trying to get through, scamper their way through this lap traffic. And Abel here might look to steal this one potentially, because he is probably the fastest mover we've seen so far. He has a lot of pace in that 41, and he's going to be looking to use it here as they were trying to catch up to this 81 of James Daniel, currently running, I would say, 19th, I would say, 17th. This race certainly isn't over, as LaFleur now. Oh, whoa, Miller down the pit road. Oh, we have one more stop left in this race here, folks, and here comes LaFleur as well. LaFleur short pitting it here. These guys are going to need to have an excellent end lap, but if they're going to be stuck behind this 81, it's not going to quite work, as Abel's not going to waste any time here. He's going to say, I've made this mistake before. I am not going to get stuck behind this lap traffic here trying to make my end lap. So we have one more stop left in this race. Who will come out in the lead and potentially, possibly, this race winner? But now he's going to get that pass off coming on to pit road. Does anybody stay out? Alfred will. Alfred's going to make a bold strategy here. Going to try to run it long, get something going. Anybody else on the lap will try to run it long here? We will see. But Haynes already pitted, so he's coming off pit road. So a second pit cycle with just under 10 to go in this one. This could shake this one up quite a bit. So that 82 is going to come off. And we will see how this all cycles out, but I'm not sure. It's Alfred. Oh my lord. Alfred pushing the limits coming down the pit road. The 82 of LaFleur, I assume, is going to continue to have the lead, but he's now that 23 of Miller right behind him, who Miller finished runner-up at IRP, I think, to the 82's teammates, so he certainly is not going to want to mess around in this one. But as they all come out, I'm not sure. Abel here might actually get the lead off the pit road. He might do it, actually. So they're going to be really close here. Oh, but LaFleur's going to move just to the outside. This could set up a very interesting finish, though. We'll see who cycles out in the lead. We're about to hit 5 to go in this one, actually, too. So as all these pit stops happen, it is going to be this number 82 of LaFleur in the lead still. But does that 41, 23, or even 42 have something here? Is how did that 42 get up here? The 42 Alfred runs long and is going to get all the way up to 5th here. So he pulls it off, while the 17 of Sustre is in the lead. But where's Sustre at? Sustre's coming off pit road. Oh my lord, Sustre might pull off a... Whoa. Where are they at? Does Sustre pull it off? Oh my, he might do it. No, Sustre's going to be just behind. For a second, I thought Sustre was going to have the lead somehow from a long stop. But I think this is all she wrote in this one, as Ricky LaFleur is not going to have any issues here. As that 41 is stuck behind this 01, Alexi Herman. As there goes Carson Miller to the inside, barring any caution here to send us into overtime. It's going to be the 82 of Ricky LaFleur, seeing his first career Gainbridge Truck Series win, sitting 4th in points currently. This Red Bull team was very fast in practice, and they might finally get it done. Just 3 more to go now for Red Bull Fallout Racing and this 82 of Ricky LaFleur. I almost thought that's the 17 of Sustre was out to pull off a miracle. Unfortunately, does not. But we'll see where this all ends up. But 2 more to go now for LaFleur. Caution here, send us into overtime. But I don't think he's going to have any of that worries here. As now Miller going to come up on this 81, but it's going to be too late for this 23 of Carson Miller, I think. But LaFleur might be stuck on his 97 and 6 here, though, so this could be closer than we thought. Yeah, he's pretty close here. But here we go, coming to the white flag for Ricky LaFleur, stuck behind the 6 of Patrick Raven. But can he bring it home for Red Bull Fallout Racing? Sitting 4th in the current standings. That 23 and 41 are trying to dig and get close as they can, but it might just be too late. But here we go through turns 3 and 4. Ricky LaFleur, who has led the second half of this race, made a bold pit strategy call on the first pit cycle. It pays off, and now Ricky LaFleur is going to see his first career win in the Gainbridge Truck Series. It's going to be a photo finish for second, but the rest of them behind. Hubert and all of them coming through, but Ricky LaFleur finally gets his first career win for Red Bull Fallout Racing. He gets it done. And man, oh man, what a race here this evening as LaFleur gets it done for Red Bull Fallout Racing. It's going to be Red Bull Fallout Racing's 3rd race win on the season, but LaFleur, man, oh man, what a performance in this second half of this race. That was a great call when that first lap traffic came up to dive down pit road. Had company from Hubert, but I don't think Hubert quite had the pace at all to get past him. As soon as he got to the lap traffic, he set his sights away from everybody else. So hats off to the CD2 team, folks. And congratulations to Ricky LaFleur on his first career win. And then we will get into your finishing results of this afternoon's race. So as we get into your finishing results here after this race here at Maui International Raceway, I mean, first of all, What a breath of fresh air from the last couple weeks. Now it's been very dominant for Racing Motorsports. Once again, I thought they were about to pull it off. Avery Alfred had a great pit stop on the final pit stop. I thought that 41 of Aaron Abel might have been able to steal it. Doesn't quite happen, but man, oh man, what a race from all of them. This whole field actually. I mean, that was a thrilling first half. Was kind of just a little bit of a group of trucks. We saw the gap grow between them as the race moved on, but I mean, they were battling pretty hard. And then when that lap traffic came, that's when the panic mode came on because that lap traffic can alter your race. And the 82, that 27, the 23, they all dove down pit road. Did not want to have anything to do with that lap traffic. And we saw that, I think it was 1 or 2 races ago where we saw that once again somebody dove down pit road when lap traffic came and they ended up winning the race. So it's very definitely a wise move when that lap traffic comes, it seems, as of late, to uh try and capitalize and I guess you could say I don't even know here. Yeah, just try and capitalize on the chaos. So 82 Ricky LaFleur gets it done. Aaron Abel edges out Carson Miller first, second there. So that was a photo finish between those two, but Abel does get it done. Miller finishes third. 42 Alfred in fourth. Like I said, he had a very fast end to this race. He ran really long, and it paid off for him. Alexander Rowe goes from, I don't even know, no man's land all the way up to eighth. So he has a thrilling drive to the end. He went from all the way from 34th to 8th, so definitely the biggest mover in this race, and he gets a great finish for that Vision Motorsports team. So they get all 3 trucks in the top 10. Patrick Nolan in here, Kyler Sustre. I thought Sustre was about to pull off the win, the way he was on the ticker for a second. I thought he'd pull off some just bold, long strategy that somehow worked out. Not quite, but he gets it done. Then we have Brandon Haynes, Raul Dorn. They all looked fast. Joseph Wood, he was very kind of a thorn in the leader's sides. Carl Young got up here actually. Chris Martin, James Daniel. Um, and we move further down, and yeah, only 36 trucks actually complete the race because for some reason the 32, the 9, and not the 32, the 32, the 92, and 5 all did not get started. So unfortunately for Caden Arcadia, Nick Mahold, all of them, they don't even get this race started. The 32 and 92, of course, had engine issues. Those trucks did not fire off. They took it back to the garage, had no luck, so they had to DNF this race. And then the 5 of Calvert got off rolling, but had a suspension issue. I don't know if something blew on the pace lap. He had to bring it down. So just a lot of chaos here, and that's unfortunate. I know Mahold has a lot of pressure in his seat currently, and heading into Fiji next week, he's going to have a lot of uncertainty whether he's going to be driving next week. And Arcadia, as a single truck team, it is a little bit difficult out there to gain points, and once again, they're going to fall behind a little bit here, as they unfortunately will not have um, any luck getting uh, up front here. Um, but they do have a chance at Fiji. I think that should be a race to watch out for Arcadia. But look at the rest of your finishers here. York Watson does not have a great of a day. I thought they were going to do way better. David Dixon really stayed out long, but it didn't quite work out. So despite Galeforce really making some upgrades coming into this week and really qualifying well, does not quite pay off for him. And then we look throughout the rest of your finishing results. Ayers and Onjack, they're in 21st and 22nd. But besides that, nobody really standing out. Castle that they brought a lot of upgrades and first, unfortunately have too much luck. And it was actually a 37 of Bento who was kind of a thorn in the leader's side as well. Angel Gutierrez, I'm not sure what happened at the end of this race, but he did not have a great stop. Gets dropped down all the way to 19th. So Gutierrez, that's going to hinder his points lead. And we could potentially see Alfred possibly jump him here, only a 16-point gap. So depending on how everything evens out, with Alfred having his amazing end to the race, he could potentially jump into the points lead here. And of course, Gutierrez will just fall down the second because he has quite a big gap, nearly a whole race over that 41 of Aaron Abel. But folks, thank you all for tuning in here at Maui International Raceway. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know we've kind of been in a flat spill these past couple weeks, but I thought this one was pretty enjoyable with how you had to manage everything. And then we head to Fiji for that race next weekend. Well, next week. I don't know when that race will be. I think it'll likely be Saturday once again in this time slot, but it could be a Friday night one. Who knows? But we will see for that one. So that should be a fun one. Uh, don't know off the top of my head how many laps will be in that one. We'll kick off the in-season tournament, so that bracket will release on Tuesday. Well, it might be Monday or Tuesday. Um, and then guys can get their predictions in, and you fans can get your predictions in, and really put your picks in on who you think is going to move on. And uh, it's gonna be 27 laps. So that's actually gonna be quite a lengthy one. So we'll see how that one plays out. Um, it's a little bit shorter than Circuit of the Americas, so not too lengthy, but it's gonna definitely be a challenge for those guys in the mountains. So that'll be a fun race to see, and we see another international fan base. I mean, the Hawaiian fans. I mean, they are part of the U.S., but they are kind of international. But this race will for sure be international as we take our trip to Japan, which will be a fun one. The drivers certainly will enjoy themselves, seeing a new culture there, and just a very pleasant area at that too. So that is pretty much all here from In Our Truck Night in America and my Yap session at the end of this one. This is your finishing results, of course. So 36 to 92 and 5 all did not get fired off, but well, actually, we can look here in a second. We'll see who actually the order is, but it will actually be last is Mahold, and the 32 and 5 are going to be in front of them. But um, yeah, that is all from In Our Truck Night in America here live at Maui. I'll see you guys next week in Japan for another road course race and the start of our in-season tournament, folks. But this is all from In Our Truck Night in America. America, Charlie Davenport signing off. See you guys all next week.